Welcome to the Bowhold video part 2. This is going to be with a real bow this time instead of the Sharpie. So if you guys have real bows at home, it's going to feel just a little bit different, but hopefully everything, all the basics should be the same. So again, the first one that we had was the orange, and placing the bow in the orange. And you want the stick side to go into the fingers. And then this metal plate here that the horsehair goes in, that's where Bob lives. That's where the thumb is going to go, and he's going to stay curved. And if these fingers are relaxed on the other side, it should be easy to line up the middle finger and then keep the pinky on top. So this one's nice because you can keep the bow straight up and down, and that's when it feels the lightest in the hand for your kiddo. And you can see everything pretty well as far as that Bowhold goes. So that was the orange. The other one was the shake it out and flop, and they can flop higher up on the stick so that they can slide so they don't grab on with their fingers. That's really common to do with the actual bow. So you could shake it out, flop, keep your fingers soft, slide down until Bob hits his house there on the fulcrum. That's the metal plate that the horsehair goes in, and then pinky goes on top. And the other thing you can look for is little windows between the fingers. They don't have to be perfectly even because usually these two want to stick together, but any fingers pushed together, that's going to cause tension, and we don't want that. So we want to keep that flopped feeling. So there's a little bit of space between the fingers, pinky on top, Bob's at his home, and then always end straight up and down, and then they can look at the different parts or different angles of their bow hold. So that's the flop. And then the other one, this seems to work really well for a lot of the kiddos with small hands. If you shake it out, shake your bow hand out and flop it on your knee, and don't spread out your fingers or force your hand open. Then you can take the tip of the bow, slide it through, and you don't have to accommodate the thumb very much if it's sliding through this little tunnel. And then you stop when the thumb is right over the fulcrum, that metal plate that the horsehair goes in. And if it just sits there with the pinky on the bottom, then there you go. So let me show that one more time. Shake it out, you flop on your knee, and slide the bow through. And you stop when your thumb is over the metal plate, and put Bob there, and then pinky goes underneath and then straight up and down. And again, if your child is having trouble not grabbing or curling the fingers over the stick, that kind of thing, you can do the floppy wrist. I'll show it to the side here. And then you turn it over and you tap the line on your knuckle at the middle finger there, and you just tap real light, and you turn it back over and do the wrist thing again. And then you can tap with it underneath because they can't see at that time, and still do the wiggles, and then you can have something cute eating the end of your violin, having that really light pressure. And then they can find Bob's home and put pinky on top, and hopefully once they hold it straight up and down, if they've felt how light that can be, they can feel how light the bow is when it's straight up and down, and that they don't have to squeeze or anything like that to hold the bow. Okay, so those are the basics with a real bow.